All right, and we are live on the Facebook, the YouTubes, and the Twitches.
And the everywhere else.
And I didn't do Periscope this time, which I learned a while back to give up on because, we're live.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's
technically just part of Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Twitter bought Periscope, and they kind of made it into their own live stream thing. So it's basically you live streaming on Twitter. But it's still called Periscope, I think. Anyways, so
I've been used that since like 2015.
Yeah, I tried a few live streams of the podcast on it, and it didn't do anything. And so I was like, we'll stick with the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, because that's where all of our peoples are at. So hello, everybody, welcome to the chat. Hello, Celeste. Thank you for joining us. We'll get going here in just a few minutes. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, we haven't done one of these in a while.
Welcome to the madness.
We're not recording from some remote location.
Hopefully everybody enjoyed our podcast from what was the last one from Hollow Scream with John.
Yeah.
That was a fun time, and so we got to go out there, and Busch Gardens let us
that
drag
feels like
all the
12 years ago.
It does. I was trying to remember. I had to go back, and I was like, "What number episode are we on?" And getting everything ready tonight. I had to get everything ready. Hello, Kim. Kim's awesome. She joins me on my. Everybody that usually joins me on my live streams walking around the park. Ryan's here.
So many people.
Yeah.
What is
going,
this?
Guys.
I love it.
Ryan, wasn't Ryan literally just here? Like actually here?
Yeah, he was here, and he didn't say hi to any of us or visit any of us. So
I know.
Well, I did message him on Twitter, and I was like, "Are you here? I am also here. If you would like to do something, I'm leaving that option to you." So I tried.
We love you, Ryan. Well, he did see the wife at Magic Kingdom, so that was
at least one of us saw Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyways, hello guys. We're gonna get going here in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're gonna actually, you know what? I'll get going here right now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start it. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So hang tight 1 second, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ThrillGeek Podcast. I'm Clint.
I'm Barry.
And I'm Emily.
And we're back to a, like we said before we started when we were talking pre-live stream here, a regular
pre-show.
Recording. Yeah, pre-show. We're back to a regular recording. Feels like we haven't done one in months. But we did make the announcement that we were going to be kind of going bi-weekly, and I think this is exactly 2 weeks because we posted the Hollow Scream one on my birthday, September 30th. So
yeah, I actually have a weeknight off, so we could record.
Yeah, so that's the other thing that we've been trying to figure out is your new work schedule, which I think we said we were going to be going on Sundays, but you are off today, so Wednesday we are going to be recording.
Might as well.
And we do have a lot to talk about since we have kind of gone bi-weekly. A lot has happened in these 2 weeks. And I think Barry, hopefully, I'm counting on him. He's gotten up to date with all
the list.
He's got the list.
I've got the list. So
we all technically have the list. However, Barry is the only one that pays attention to the list.
Really quick before we get into all that, how's everybody doing? Emily, how have you been? What have you done? Anything exciting? You guys were actually at Universal or Hollywood Studios yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't actually my boyfriend and I got back to the car and we're like, we did things today. We went on more than one ride. What is this? And it was actually kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. I mean, obviously you have your big rides like Runaway Railway and Slinky Dog and stuff that are always going to have the line out the door, especially because of the distancing. But we did a good amount of stuff. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I was there Friday, and and it was way less busy than it was on Friday. Which it was a holiday weekend, so it turned out to be the parks were probably the busiest they've been since they reopened this past weekend.
Well, it was also a holiday weekend, so
yeah. So I mean, it was definitely a nicer, more relaxed day at afternoon at Hollywood Studios.
And we weren't sweating to death.
That's another thing. It was actually nice and cool in the shade for once.
I didn't feel like water trickling down my legs from my own sweat. I was like, what is this amazing thing happening to me? A breeze?
The weather's been
so
really weird.
So I mean, for me, I've just been going to the parks, working. Just finished watching The Legend of Korra, which I had never seen. That was really good. So I'm watching The Haunting of Hill House right now.
I was just gonna comment on that.
I'm very conflicted
Hill House
so
or
far.
Bly Manor?
No, the
OG
one
Hill
from
House?
last one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All I will say is I was bored to death until about the 5th episode so far.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
It's it's a very slow / depressing burn. I don't know if it's the right show to be watching.
Well, yeah,
right
any
now.
show that really says like haunting, I don't really think it's going to be like Sunshine.
I mean, it's not even that. It's that first half of that series is just brutal. And then, I mean, that it definitely turns that 5th episode, even though that is a brutal episode, sadness wise, the ending of that episode, just that to me is really, that sort of turned the series before me. Now I'm sort of interested now.
Barry's like, I gotta do this podcast right now. I can't watch Hill House.
And I can tell you right now, we're halfway through Bly Manor, and it's very similar. It's completely different as far as like the vibe and the feel of the show. But you really have to get through the first 4, maybe the 5th episode, because we're about halfway through. Not to give too much away.
I mean, I personally like horror like that. Like, I like horror that's like not in your face horror. I like figuring out things, and especially like when that first came out, and like there was like that whole list of like, here are all the ghosts in the background. I'm like, where are they? Oh, thank you.
Emily Celeste says your hair is very pretty.
Thank you. It's a mess right now.
John says hello, everybody.
And you can thank my wife, because my wife does Sin does Emily's hair.
Shameless product placement.
Yes.
So
let's dive in.
Well, as far as
we ramble for like 5 seconds.
No one cares about you, Clint.
Work. Getting ready for Halloween.
You got some kids to take care of a lot more.
Yeah,
now.
kids. 2 of them are still home or at home for school, and so that's still a thing. Obviously the wife went back to work at Disney, so that was an adjustment we had to make because she's been home with the kids and everything. It's been kind of a crazy last couple weeks getting all that stuff figured out. So, but we're gonna do something here at the house for Halloween. So we've been really I started some new tombstones for the yard and that sort of thing. And Cheryl's working on a candy shoot, which is amazing.
That's
I don't know
cute.
if you've seen it, Emily. She posted a teaser picture.
I mean, I didn't see like her post it, but I like know of the candy shoots, so
yeah.
I
Just
assume
wait till
that
you see the one she's doing. You're gonna flip.
I'm gonna sit at the bottom of the driveway and just be like, Cheryl, please.
So we're doing okay. I want to put a sign out because I don't know how trick or treating is gonna be. Usually our neighborhood is absolutely slammed for Halloween.
Just put like the shoot and then put a sign that says candy at end of hole.
Here. Put bag here. So no, but our neighborhood's really usually pretty packed for Halloween. So I don't know how it's going to be with coronavirus and everything.
It's Florida. It'll probably still be busy.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid. I'm that's what I'm afraid of. But I kind of want.
But you're also like, I made this candy shoot, so I'm kind of
exactly. So, anyways, all right, let's dive into all the goodies that we have to get to. Barry, you want to shoot us off with some pop culture goodies?
Yeah, let's do some quick pop culture news. Hey, everybody, will movie theaters survive?
No.
Because pretty much almost every November major into October, November
They
film has
out.
been moved, except for what Universal DreamWorks The Croods 2, which was
What
anybody
is
even
that?
asking for? Was anybody even asking for a sequel to that movie?
I didn't even know
but
there
I
was
have-
the first one.
I have
Right
a soft
now-
spot for the Croods. I really do. It's kind
Right-
of a cute movie.
Yeah. Right now, the major Christmas releases are still there, except for, of course, they moved Dune to October of next year, which then means they moved The Batman to 2022.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I mean, I have not. Emily has gone back to the movies.
Oh, I was like,
still
what have I
not-
done?
I still have not set in my foot in a movie theater yet because for me there's been no reason to. So
I think
I don't
it's
think-
more of like a being bored thing. Like, yeah, obviously I could pop out a Back to the Future DVD and put it into like my PlayStation and call it a day. But it's like, do I also want to leave my house and see it on a larger screen and then have popcorn for $2.50? Yeah. So that's pretty much why we've been going. And I mean, my boyfriend and I've been doing it in like a certain way because, like, for example, we've been going to the Cineplex, whatever it is.
Yeah,
at,
Cinemark.
Universal.
City Walk,
Yeah, the one at City Walk. But it's been nice because, yes, they've been playing like throwback movies, like, for example, like Back to the Future, Beetlejuice, Jurassic Park, but we've been picking like the throwback movies that they've been playing that we've never seen before. So like, for example, like we never saw Get Out, so we saw it at the movie theaters. We never saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So it's just like those type of movies that we've never seen before. We wanted, at least to like give ourselves like still a movie going experience and be able to see something new, while obviously it's like 20, 30 years old, but we just still want to have at least like a date night and like be able to go somewhere. And like, for example, the last time we went, we were the only people in the theater. So we were more comfortable like taking our masks down for like a longer period of time, when normally we would just like have some popcorn, put it back on, have some popcorn.
Yeah, I mean,
so now it's a little more comfortable, but it's still like obviously not the safest thing for you to do, but it's kind of something for you to get out of the house. So
I think the movie going experience will come back. People like to go to the movies. I cannot imagine. And really, if you want to continue to have some of these big budget movies, it's got to come back, because much streaming and seeing at home is not gonna get you Avengers Endgame.
We've already got it.
We're not there. No one's going to spend $250 million or what it was, even more than that, on a movie that's only going to be seen in people's homes.
Yeah.
So
I don't think. I think it's more for me. I think I would entertain the idea of going to a movie. I've wanted to do what Emily's done and go to the theater at Universal and go see. Maybe we can still do it. Cheryl and I want to.
I told you, just drop those kiddos off at the house. I don't really know how to properly watch them, but I'll do it.
But yeah, we want to go over there and watch Jurassic Park in the movie theater again. But I think besides that, I think it's more of a. There's been nothing I've wanted to see at the movie theater, so I don't want to go because of the whole virus thing.
If Black Widow came out tomorrow, I would. I would.
Yeah.
Well, see, like one of the things, for example, it was like super weird though. Like, for example, like when Bill and Ted came out, that was like the one that I was like, it comes out today, let's go to the movies. And then like I looked like on IMDb, because that's usually the one that will tell you like the most accurate. It's like at least smaller movies, like where they'll be playing them. And they're like, would you like to drive 40 plus miles to like go to a different movie theater that you've never been to before, because it's only playing in 2 movie theaters in the state? And I was like, so Beetlejuice? Like, it was like one of those things where I did want to go in the movies, and then it was kind of like this weird thing where it's like, oh, our movie theater's going to come back, but then movie theaters are showing movies that aren't coming out, like, but then they're giving you the option like, oh, do you want to go see Tenet? Well, no, I wanted to see Bill and Ted, so like why was I not able to like make that decision? So it's like this weird thing now where like they almost back you into a corner. To go watch something digitally or go to rent it, when they could have. I don't know if they would have lost money by putting it more in theaters. I don't know how many people would have been running out to go see Bill and Ted, but like they at least would have had my money on it. So it was kind of weird because I still haven't even seen it. Yeah. So I really need somebody to hook me up with like a digital download. And then of course, putting it out there.
I think, we could also mention, Barry, that Disney announced that Soul will be coming straight to Disney Plus. So that was an interesting move for them. On Christmas Day, it'll be coming to Disney Plus, but they are not doing the Premier Access thing that they did for Mulan.
Because I don't think they probably know that people weren't gonna pay that much.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen what in the last week Mulan has now been released to all on-demand services.
Poor Mulan.
And it's from all intents purposes, and I mean, I don't think we'll find out more information until I think December 10th is when their next like Disney investor relations press conference is.
Yeah,
how Mulan did. It obviously didn't do as well in the movie theaters around the world that are open. Especially didn't do that well in China, which is what they had hoped for. I mean, I think releasing Soul is definitely I think it's an interesting move. I mean, I'm making it Christmas Day is to make an event out of it, I guess. And do
you think it's? I mean, obviously, it's Christmas Day. People are going to be getting all sorts of gadgets and everything. It's a way for people to get to sign up for Disney Plus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be getting Rokus and Amazon Fires and Chromecasts and new TVs for Christmas. And hey, sign up for. I'm sure, just like Hamilton, they'll suspend the free. Did they even ever bring back the free trial? I don't even know if they did.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think they did. So it's like you'll still have to sign up
for a 3-year subscription. So I'm like,
yeah,
the worst person to ask about that.
I paid. I bought the 3-year deal they had after
23.
Yeah, so it's I'm good for another 2 years. So, but I think and speaking of Disney, they have reorganized their media and entertainment divisions, which this was all planned, I believe, anyway before the pandemic. The only thing is the pandemic and also the success of Disney Plus probably accelerated the plan of the reorganization. Pretty much putting, I hate it when they use the word content.
Content.
It just makes it sound really, unartistic and boring.
What would you like them to use, Barry?
I don't know, but it's just organizing all the movie studios under one umbrella, and moving the streaming and the TV under all one umbrella, and then sports under an entire umbrella. So it's not surprising. I think we'll see. Disney is betting a lot on streaming now. They seem to be pulling back all their properties from other services. I think you're still going to see like Disney movies on cable channels, because I think as long as people are willing to pony up the money, they're still going to, Disney's going to sell their content.
I forgot if it was CNBC or somebody interviewed Chapek, and he was talking about this new reorganization, and he said something along the lines of it's up to the customer. They're going to be voting with their pocketbook or their wallets or something like that.
I mean, that's really people always vote with their wallets.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Well, I mean, and you got to remember too, the amount of there's a lot of stuff that's never going to set foot on Disney Plus. There's a ton of the Fox movies, and a ton of Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures movies that will never be on Disney Plus.
Are you telling me I can't watch the entire Alien franchise, Barry?
I mean, I imagine eventually they will. If they stick to their guns, all that stuff will be on Hulu at some point. Yeah. But I mean, for the most part, it's still a lot of the our stuff is spread out through different services and cable and all kinds of things. So
can I say, with Disney Plus, I can't stand the layout. When I go from
it's horrible.
Disney Plus to Netflix, I mean, given Netflix has been out for a much longer time period than Disney Plus,
I was about
But
to say, you're like comparing like a kindergartner to a fifth grader.
Yeah. But still,
No.
there's something. Disney Plus is so clunky, and the interface. I hope within the next, I don't know when, that we get some sort of interface update for Disney Plus, and Disney makes it a little more intuitive. And
I mean, with Disney Plus, like, for example, like, I'm super grateful for them putting, like, all the X-Men movies on there.
Yeah.
So I started watching X2 earlier today because it was, like, a recommendation. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll watch this again. And it literally is an action sequence. And then all of a sudden, Disney Plus just slows down. And it's, like, this slow motion punch to someone's face. And I literally, at any time, and I think it's just Disney Plus because I have, like, Netflix and everything else. And whenever like I go to watch anything action wise on Disney Plus, it all like goes into slow motion. And I'm like, this is not like an internet thing. This is not like a connection thing. This is like Disney Plus being so freaking clunky. Yeah. It's almost painful.
Like I love the content, but the interface needs a major update.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interface needs an update.
Which is weird because I always get like, oh, we just did an update on it. Congrats. And I'm like, did you though?
They need to put more of an effort into getting all the 4K content on there. It's shocking to me the lack of 4K streaming stuff that we all, and it's stuff we know that has a 4K release, that hasn't made its way on there.
Yeah.
So they're definitely way behind. Obviously, Netflix has been around for years, and it feels like they made some improvements to the interface at the beginning, but they have not kept up with the I don't know if it's the server demand or they have a lot more they have a lot more subscribers now, and you have a lot more people at home using it, and there's still a ton of missing content too. I mean how is it not every Disney Channel movie is on there by now? How are we still missing stuff like older Disney films? How are we still missing stuff like what? It's Halloween. Why is The Watcher in the Woods not on there? Or Something Wicked This Way Comes. I was going to say
Barry's deep dive in here though.
No, but I mean,
he's not like complaining about like Halloween Town.
But there's hardly any of the 80s Disney movies on there at all.
Yeah,
Barry's like, why when it comes to live on Disney Plus? Although it is, I know it is.
Yeah, no, I mean Hocus Pocus is, but there's still a huge chunk of just straight up Disney content that's missing from the service. And
I mean, and I realize some of it, though, like if it is on something else or if just like weird rights things.
It's got to be a weird rights thing because most of those older Disney movies, I forgot what the name of the cable channel. There's one cable channel that has like shows a lot of the older 70s, 80s, late 60s Disney movies. But I don't know. There's no streaming service out there that has them. So I don't know what the holdup is because it's not like it isn't stuff that hasn't already. Almost all that stuff's already was released on DVD at some point. I mean, it may not be the greatest transfer, but it's like get that stuff on there because they're going to start running out of new content to post. It's like we got The Mandalorian season 2 coming up. End of this month, and then we got WandaVision coming in December. We aren't going to see when are we going to see Falcon and Winter Soldier? From everything we hear, we're not going to see that till after Black Widow comes out because of allegedly because of spoilers and a tie-in. We may get the Loki series in the spring, but what else?
Depends, I think, too, how much they've ever shot of these.
And we may get the Marvel What If animated series in the spring, but they're starting to run out of new content.
And that was the thing with Disney Plus is everybody like when it was announced and when it was up and coming, everybody knew that it was going to have a huge library, but the question that everybody was asking was how is Disney going to keep up with the new content? With Disney Plus, so it'll be interesting to see. Because obviously coronavirus has had an effect on some of the production for some of these things. Some things have had to slow down, therefore delays. But it'll be interesting to see how things pan out after, like you said, Mandalorian and WandaVision. early 2021.
Yeah, I mean, because we have no clue when the Mandalorian season 3 is going to get to film. And I mean, we are lucky enough. It looks like it may have started on Spider-Man and Doctor Strange have either started already or actually, I think Spider-Man allegedly was filming in New York either today or tomorrow. So those have started at least. But that's not till 2022. There's still 2 Marvel movies sitting in the can, and I guess Shang-Li's is, I don't know if it's still filming or they just wrapped filming in Australia. So there's still 2 Marvel movies sitting in the can to come out next year, and plus a third one that'll be coming out. And they're just finally starting to shoot Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. So
we shall see. All right.
So let's
where are we jumping over to?
Oh, we're going to jump over to theme park / haunt news because, we cover haunts now because
it's October.
We got to do something spooky. We were lucky enough to be invited out to Sir Henry's Trail. It is a haunted experience in Plant City, Florida, which is basically about
Lakeland.
It's sort of Well, I guess what? Lakeland / Plant. It's literally right there where Lakeland and Plant City are. Basically about a little over halfway between Orlando and Tampa. They have 3 haunted trails. They were nice enough to invite us out there for opening night, and I was all 3 of us first time. Emily, you went to their Valentine's Day experience.
Yeah, because that's a thing. Before the world went to but basically they well, at least when I went for the Valentine's Day thing, they had the 3 trails, but they were all different themed and, different sets and everything like that. So when they invited us out for this one, I was like, oh, okay, I'll go again. It'll be fun. And then I looked at the website. I'm like, oh, they actually kind of change it like they do with Horror Nights. That's pretty cool. So I basically still got to experience it pretty much the first time with you guys with 3 new trails.
Yeah. What did you think overall, Emily?
That I should probably not be tortured on camera, because I'm a huge scaredy cat. Yeah, I'm a scaredy cat. I mean, I really liked it. It's I'm a really weird person when it comes to not Horror Nights because I've just been so trained at this point to love my Horror Nights and eat, sleep, and breathe my Horror Nights that when I go somewhere, when I go somewhere else, I'm like, ugh, they don't have lighting triggers, they don't have blah, and I sound like a brat. So when I go to
people are actually screaming.
Yeah, so it's when we went with Seth. And he's literally just being like, no, use from your diaphragm, you're gonna hurt yourself. I remember. But they literally are using their own voices, they're using their own props, and it's really cool. The scares that you do get from these type of experiences, now that there is distancing and making sure that you aren't getting too close and everything like that. And I'm still people are popping out of the bushes at me and I'm almost falling down. So I'm I appreciate you guys and I appreciate the hard work that you're putting into this to still make it scary, but also make it safe.
Well, the thing I think even with social distancing, one of the things you usually get at a local haunt, especially a haunted trail, is the follow scare, where it's actually built so you go through a section of the trail, especially what was it called? The candy one?
The candy tree.
The candy tree. There was a whole section where you're going through a village, and it's actually set up. So they do follow scares. So they're all these trick-or-treaters start following you. And actually with the whole social distancing thing going on, they have even more time to follow you as you're going through the village.
It was just creepy. I loved it, but it was so creepy. And then sorry, go ahead.
No, it was definitely my favorite out of the 3 trails.
Yeah. Because then they had Marionette of the something.
Marionette of the Damned Dead.
Yeah.
And Midnight Slaughter.
I appreciated that one, but I hated that one because I don't do puppets or dolls or anything like that. And they had really sick bungee scares where they were propped up as puppets and then they'd lunge out at you. And I was I need you guys to understand that Clint pretty much has no body fat. and the fact that I found body fat on Clint because he was in front of me. I was like grabbing for anything. I was like, oh my God, this is too much. So I'm pretty sure I like left a bruise on Clint, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, that one pinch like on my back that you did. God,
that was all involuntary too.
That
That's
was
how
awful.
well they were scaring me. That was
but I
involuntary.
deserved it. No, I liked Sir Henry's. It was a cool event. That was my first time out there ever. And I definitely liked the Candy Tree. I think all three of us kind of agreed that was our favorite. Really cool with there were a lot of cool scares, and the trick or treat part that Barry said where they follow you. That was really cool. And it was
it's
raining.
Just like a spooky atmosphere too.
And it was like that's what I was gonna say. It was raining too that night, so that added to the atmosphere, so to speak. So no, it was a good time. I would definitely recommend it if you guys are looking for if you live in the Orlando area or anywhere around between here and Tampa, go out there to Sir Henry's and check it out. It's a cool little haunt. I believe their website is sirhenryshauntedtrail.com, and you can go on there and check it out. And yeah, I loved it. It was a good time. We want to go to some more other haunts. We're trying to get up to 13th floor up in Jacksonville.
We'll see if that happens.
And I'm trying to figure out a date to where that can work. And also, I never told you guys, but Netherworld, Johnny from Haunt Scene, he told me they're actually open the first 2 weekends of November.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do something, get some November spookiness and do a road trip up to Atlanta. Because he just got back.
I love how you like just ask permission. You're like, do you want to go get?
Do you guys want to go?
Do you want to go get scared?
So
you have availability for that?
Yeah, we wanted to do it now, but I don't think it's gonna work. But
Probably
I'm
not.
open to maybe possibly doing something mid-November weekend trip. I was watching Johnny last night, and Netherworld looks really, really cool. So that got me even more excited. So I was like, okay, we need to figure this out and road trip. But no, Sir Henry's was fun. It's a fun little local haunt. I admire these smaller, kind of like what you were saying, Emily. I admire these smaller local haunts because I've become so immune to Halloween Horror Nights over the years that I'm more into Horror Nights for the aesthetics of the house, the lights, the setting.
You guys can even like attest to that though. Like the three of us going through houses together. Like, I'm still a scaredy cat, and I'll be like, don't touch me in a Horror Nights house. But like when I'm like shrieking and being like, oh my God, please don't touch me, and like running through a trail, like you can tell like they are doing such a good job. With Sir Henry's that it can, so for someone that like somebody can come up to me with a chainsaw and I don't blink. Like if you can get me at like a smaller trail like that, I give you all the props in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean the final trail was Midnight Slaughter, and it was a hillbilly cannibal one. It was probably the weakest one.
I still think it was like the interactions outside there, like these scare actors in the line, and that was fun. But I mean, if you're so used to just seeing like hillbilly cannibalism all the time, as weird of a sentence that is to come out of my mouth, if you're used to seeing that at haunts, then it's really not going to be anything that like really stands out to you.
Yeah. And I think it was given haunted houses aren't supposed to be like walking in and, well lit, that house was really, really dark.
Yeah.
There were a lot of areas where I was like, where the heck am I going? And
all the houses, there's a courtyard in the middle there, and they have food and drinks and merchandise, and the event does have its own icons too, and they're usually walking around. And you can get socially distanced like pictures with them, and they're
live mic too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like Sir Henry will roast you. He likes to roast people, so.
But yeah, the website sirhenryshauntedtrail.com if you guys want to check it out. Be sure to. We had a good time.
So down the road, you got to go to Legoland in Winter Garden and check out this year's version of Brick or Treat.
Yeah, we packed up the wife and kids, and I packed up the wife. Cheryl, I packed her up, and
you just threw her in there.
Get on in, honey. We're going. We went down to Legoland, Florida, because they invited us down to check out Brick or Treat, their modified Brick or Treat event. And you know, the big thing was with, you know, whereas the haunted their little haunted spooky trail where they normally do the trick or treating is like one trail, one shot, done and over. They kind of moved the trick or treat trail or to different different areas of the park, which I kind of liked. It was kind of nice to go throughout the park and, you know, go trick or treating, whereas normally with Brick or Treat, it's like a continuous trail. You know, and you literally go from it's like these cute little stalls where you go up and you get candy. So that was one of the big differences with the trick or treating. And, you know, pretty much all the trick or treating booths had the candy chutes, which, you know, I would be surprised. I would love for parks to keep these candy chutes around because the kids love them. You know, they get to run up with their bags and, you know,
candy chutes for adults.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're not still in use next year either.
Yeah.
So.
You know, because we went to, you know, I won't talk about it too much because it was fairly similar. SeaWorld's Halloween Spooktacular, you know, they had the candy chutes there, and, you know, the kids love them. It's fun. It adds another little level of excitement for the kids to run up and put their bag down there, and it goes down the chute, and, you know, you look and you see what candy you got. So it was a good time. You know, luckily we went on a Sunday. Apparently, from what I heard, Saturday it was busy. And, you know, the thing with Legoland is masks are not required in that park. So needless to say, there was a good amount of people wearing masks, but there were also a good amount of people not wearing masks. So, you know, take that into consideration if you're, you know, a little more leery about people wearing masks and that sort of thing. They are not mandatory at Legoland. But, you know, we were fine. Luckily, like I said, it was a slow day. So we were able to avoid the people not wearing, you know, keep our distance.
Take it all the employees are wearing masks?
Yes, all of the employees are wearing masks, that especially the ones that deal with the candy and that sort of thing. So it was a good time. We spent pretty much the whole day there. And, you know, Brick or Treat's my favorite, you know, out of the smaller parks. It's such a fun event. So get down there, check it out. And, yeah, I had a good time. It was fun. I love Brick or Treat. All the Lego the Lego Halloween characters and everything, and
they had like some fun treats and snacks and stuff there, right?
Yes, we actually they gave us a coupon for a free. Gosh, I forgot. It was like themed after Dracula, and it was like edible cookie dough. It was really good. And so they had that, and they have a special. Everybody, you go to Legoland, you got to get their apple fries.
Apple fries.
Yes, they are amazing. But we didn't get the. They have like a Halloween themed one with pumpkin ice cream, and I think it's just like it's apple fries with pumpkin ice cream. I think that's what it was. Maybe like a little garnish or something.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that would have been something Cheryl would have gotten, not me. I'm not big into the whole pumpkin thing.
I'm a weird person when you start combining flavors. Like if you're like, this is apple flavored, great. This is pumpkin flavored, great. We're gonna put them together.
Yeah,
I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah, it's literally apple
unless
fries.
it's apple caramel.
Yeah, apple caramel is acceptable. But I think there were some few other little you know, treats that they got going on there, and Legoland introduced virtual queue, which was interesting. We got to experience that, so that was a first. Although it was dead that day, we didn't really have to utilize it a whole lot. So, anyways, yeah, we had a good time at Brick or Treat. Get on there, check it out, get some candy. We got tons of candy. Oh my gosh, between SeaWorld and Legoland.
You want to share?
Cheryl was like, we don't need to buy candy for trick or treating. We'll just hand out Legoland.
I saw that.
I posted a picture on Twitter. We have 5 bags from Legoland and like 3 or 4 bags from SeaWorld. So,
you guys are set.
Yeah, we are. So, anyways, it was a good time. Loved it. Moving
on, let's go to Japan. And
God, I wish.
Did we finally get we got a opening time for Super Nintendo World? And then the big thing, and actually I believe it just opened today, a temporary Mario Cafe is opening up in their Schwab's Pharmacy location at Universal Studios Japan. And if you've seen the pictures of the food and the sipper cups, and
I have.
Oh my God!
I'm literally looking at them right now.
Can we? I realize God knows when we're ever going to get a Super Nintendo World, but can we get a Mario Cafe at Universal
take the
Studios.
cafe, yeah.
Oh, my soul.
I will be very happy with the cafe for right now. But yeah, I mean, we got some more pictures of Super Nintendo World, and just the thing looks insane. And we still haven't even seen what the attractions actually look like.
I got the those things are pancake, Mario hat, strawberry shortcake, grape cheesecake, fruit cream soda, Mario strawberry cream soda.
You can like not be on a diet at all to consume any of these things.
Yeah, green apple cream soda and Princess Peach cream soda. So those are some of the those are some of the ones you see that are on online right now that are popping up of the drinks and stuff.
The super mushroom sipper.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. That thing is huge. So
how do you put that back in the suitcase at the end of the trip?
Barry and I were discussing before we started recording here, if we're going to get a Nintendo store, because Universal does have this, I mean, obviously everybody knows Japan's getting Super Nintendo World, Hollywood's getting Nintendo. Who knows here for Orlando with Epic Universe?
Not anytime soon.
But Universal does have this partnership with Nintendo, so they can do other things besides Super Nintendo World. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get something Mario here, whether it is a cafe or a store. Because obviously we have all the construction going on right now at City Walk with that big corner store where what I'm always terrible with the stores that were there. It was a Fossil Watch store. What was that funky store that sold all the random stuff?
Peak or something.
Yeah, Peak,
PIQ.
and
then the other.
And then
the back
beautiful walkway.
Our
the
walkway. HHN bypass.
Quiet flight.
Yeah.
I miss you, girl.
Yeah, I mean, we're all thinking that that's going to become the new Universal Studios store.
But what are they going to do with the other one?
Well, that's the question.
Barry and I,
does that become
like I said,
a Nintendo store?
Barry and I were saying, that's, because that store is really small. It looks huge on the outside, tiny. But when you get in there, it's pretty small. So that would be the perfect size if it's gutted out for a Nintendo store / cafe. So we'll have to wait and see what Universal's got up their sleeves.
Yeah.
I would love another dining location, but
yeah. And that's the thing too, this Mario Cafe would be perfect because it'd be another little quick, option to grab a snack or something. So Universal hasn't announced anything officially yet with what's going on with this corner store. Construction is still ongoing. I've walked by it several times when I'm at Universal Orlando walking through City Walk.
I think we all try to guess, but then we're like, ooh, plywood. Yeah. It's like you can't tell at all what it's supposed to be.
They've added a lot of metal structures, supports and stuff on the outside of it. So we shall see. But fingers crossed we get something Mario, because I am super jealous of Universal Studios Japan right now.
Yeah.
And Michael does too. He says, I agree with Barry. A Mario Cafe at Universal Studios Florida, that would be so cool. It would be. Just give us something, the merchandise. Oh my gosh.
Give me something new.
Speaking of the Universal Orlando Resort, overnight, the Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure whooshed over the top hat.
It's a really fast churro.
Yeah. Shout out to Orlando Informer, Taylor, and everybody over there. They stayed up late
all night
trying to get that shot of Velocicoaster.
Taylor's the real hero there.
And it made its first test run. So this thing is over the last couple of weeks they've been doing the pull through. Everybody's been seeing the pictures of the train slowly being pulled through the track.
It goes fast,
making sure it passes the clearance and everything. And now it's testing. So like Barry said, either this was just one random test run and they're not going to do anything for a while, or this thing is way ahead of schedule.
Which
I think we're probably looking at early next year.
I mean, I want them, especially since it is an Intamin coaster. The more time they have to cycle this thing constantly I should also Intamin coaster with multiple launches. The more times they have to cycle this thing, the better. Albeit Hagrid's, is a lot more technically advanced attraction compared to this one. The more time they have to cycle this thing, then the better it's going to run when they open it. And is like with many attractions, they're not in a hurry to open it. There's no reason to open it right now. Unfortunately, as much as we are just staring at a bunch of different coasters that are just sitting there at SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, here at Universal, the Ratatouille ride sitting behind the France Pavilion at Epcot, which for all intents and purposes is done. Until
they've been putting like
the waterfall too.
Yeah, until more restrictions are lifted, there's no point in opening these things until next summer at the earliest. So
yeah, and I think Universal's on a better timeline with Velocicoaster. Obviously there were like you said, Ratatouille and a few other attractions that were going to open up either now or should have already been open. But I think Universal's on a better timeline to hopefully, depending on how things go with everything, getting this thing open when it's finished. But I think you are right in the fact that they're not in any rush to get it open. So,
but even like, look what they did though during, the lockdown and everything like that. Parks reopened and we had Disney with, pretty much the same stuff that they always had. And then Universal's like, look at our new Raptor encounter. You want to go see a stunt show? You want to go through some Horror Nights houses? I got you, fam. And we're like, oh, okay. You guys were busy.
No, and yeah,
no, we roller coaster. Like
we talked about it before, is the fact that Universal was very smart and took advantage of
that time
of the lockdown and continuing, while Disney just stopped every project, and now they are behind on stuff, and it shows where Universal has got stuff, had new stuff, and can continue to advertise it as new, and Universal's continued to do things, and Disney is just sort of is just sitting on a bunch of stuff, or not taking, now would be the time to fix some of the problems that they need to fix.
We come back to my original point: money.
Yeah
they don't want
albeit Islands of Adventure has an entire section where both attractions are no longer running. So I mean, it's not, Universal isn't perfect either. They basically sort of abandoned a certain part of the park at Islands of Adventure.
They hurt me with Poseidon's.
So
at least we finally got it announced, and I can stop calling it the unannounced Jurassic Park coaster.
I'm still going with churro stand.
That's the running joke too, is the churro stand. I think Matthew Miller from Orlando Informer, he retweeted their video and he said that's a fast churro. But yeah, no, we finally got the announcement. The top hat's going to be 155 feet tall. The fastest launch is 70 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds. It's going to feature a total of 12 seconds of airtime. So those are just kind of some quick stats about it. We have everything up on the website. The announcement, little teaser video that they did, some nighttime. This was really cool concept artwork. The nighttime concept artwork. That was really cool to see it at night. I hope they bring back more of the trees that they had to tear down for this coaster. That's my biggest concern with this, because they had to tear down a lot of trees to get this thing built. So that's one of my concerns, and it looks like they are. I think I've seen people post pictures on Twitter. They're actually starting landscaping, so hopefully we get more of these trees back. So anyways, we have everything up on the website if you guys want to go check it out. Velocicoaster is official, coming early next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
So also
we got to get through
at
2020 first.
Yeah. And speaking of getting through 2020, Universal announced that Volcano Bay will come beginning in November, will be temporarily closing until February or March of next year. They were already had taken Volcano Bay to 5 days a week. So
yikes on bikes.
Yeah.
it's if you drive by there on a weekday, it's pretty. You can see from the interstate how not busy it is. Also,
colder too.
There's been some questions, especially in the media, about concerning some of the construction of that park, and they seem to sort of, the question is, are they going to go through and fix some of the problems that park allegedly might have while it's shut down, and give them an opportunity to do that?
I haven't looked at comments here. Sorry, I'm not trying to get off subject. How many inversions, Dan? The Velocicoaster will have 4 inversions, if I remember correctly. So 4 total, including the back section and the front, or the 2 sections kind of between the launches and everything. So 4 launches total. So anyways, Volcano Bay. I wasn't too surprised about the closing announcement.
I'm sure SeaWorld's very happy.
Yeah, that was the thing that was interesting to me is, SeaWorld's like, hey, come on over. We're not closing. We'll take the business. There's been a lot of discussion recently of some, things that need to be fixed with that park. So maybe they take this time to fix those and get things in order. But, it wasn't too surprising to me. It wasn't a shock.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No. With everything going on, I was like, it wasn't too big of a surprise.
And sort of tying into that, obviously Disney and both Universal. Universal was a little bit more quiet about theirs. Disney announced major layoffs in the parks, consumers, products, whatever the consumer experiences. I can never name.
Yeah.
But 28,000 cast members were laid off or are still in the process of being laid off. Some people we know.
A lot of people we know.
Yeah,
a lot of people we know. It's at both companies, and it's not the best thing. It wasn't surprising. I think the amount of people was, and the amount of, when people think of theme park workers, they just think of the people who run the rides or working in the park, and a lot of these layoffs were behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And were like people who had been there for a long time, and made pretty good money. A lot of those, and then the biggest thing is pretty much almost the entire union part-time workforce at Disney World was pretty much laid off, and then all the seasonal, which they're seasonal employees to begin with, were pretty much told no one's coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. With I think everybody had a feeling that the layoffs were coming. And I don't know if everybody knew that it was going to be this many. But yeah, and on the lighter side of things, it's fantastic to see, this community, the theme park bloggers and, a lot of people coming together to help those that did lose their job, or, it's been really awesome to see the outpouring, especially for the cast member pantry, and that sort of thing. And I'm a person to always try and see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a good situation, no matter how we sit here and discuss it about all these layoffs. So yeah, it's tough, and I think I can speak for all three of us, and saying that if anybody needs anything that we can do to help, we're open. Everybody knows how to get a hold of us. Whatever we can do to help, we're here. And I am in talks with some people to do something maybe in the coming month, I should say. We're early in discussion to do something. So we'll let you guys know as soon as we get more things locked down. But yeah, no, it's tough. It's
yeah.
not an easy it's not an easy topic, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and the outpouring right now has been amazing and impressive. And like we said, we are working on hopefully something, because the outpouring is going to have to continue. This is not going to get any better anytime soon. I know I've been the Debbie Downer of the podcast, but things,
Emily.
anytime these people. I love some of these experts like, oh no, things will be better by next summer. It's like, you are out of your mind if you think.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
Yeah, and it comes from some of our own political officials in this area who think things are just going to bounce back next year. And I'm sorry, I hate to be the downer. It's not going to happen that way. It's
like
just
I said,
not.
Because Florida is dumb.
Yeah.
it's trust me. It's
like I said,
even if
I try to be the positive one and find the light in every subject.
And then he's got to deal with me and Barry.
Yeah. No.
It's very hard.
Yeah, it is. And my wife's a cast member. And she actually, she got called back to work. So it's been a rough couple of weeks. Seeing the tweets and the Facebook posts of just everybody just pouring out their
yeah.
So I hope things get better. I really do, but I don't think this is just going to be a light switch and it's just going to flick itself back on and we're going to be everything's going to be honky dory and everything's going to be back to normal. Because these are thousands and thousands of cast members. And it's not a good situation. And the one thing that I was really curious about, is like how many of these cast members that were let go are going to, just up and get out of the state, to go find jobs, careers elsewhere. That was one thing that was kind of interesting to me in regards of, what's going to happen. Who's going to stay around and try to, get a job back at Disney versus, who's going to, say, we're out of here and, find careers elsewhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's we've talked before, and I mean, I've said it before in personal conversations with people. It's like, it may not happen quickly, but I just see there's just no way that there's not going to be an exodus from this area. I mean, because like I said, it's one thing,
and everything keep going up too. So
I mean, it's
now you have
it's
all
one
these
thing,
people without jobs and nobody to pay for like apartments or anything like that. So
I mean, a lot of these younger people unfortunately, a lot of them are going to move back home. But then, like I said, there was 6,000 people laid off from Team Disney. These are like people who own homes.
Yep.
And
they got kids. They
got kids. They got mortgages. They're going to go wherever they can get a job, and it's more than likely it's not going to be in this area. So,
it's tough, and like I said, we're here for you guys. I don't know if any cast members listen to this podcast, but if you do, whatever we can do to help out, we're here. Barry, Emily, myself, anybody, don't hesitate to reach out. So anyways,
and last but not least, I mean, we talk about here, but, for Universal and Disney, layoffs have also occurred in California because Disneyland and Universal Studios Hollywood still are not open. California has had a different, with their lockdown, things are a lot different out there. But there's been some feelings from Disney and Universal and some of the other, theme park companies in the state that the state of California's government has been dragging their feet. It's like they've let,
do you mean the passive aggressive comment in that 28,000 release where they blame everything on California?
Oh yeah. And I mean, the interesting thing to come out of that is apparently California state, I guess, health officials have been here the last 2 weeks. We've heard at least at Disney World. We don't know if they've been at Universal too. Which Disney here they've changed some of their mask messaging, as into now, if you are not properly wearing a face mask, you will be asked to leave the park. There's signs up for that. There are
Park-wide
there are
announcements.
park-wide announcements every 10 minutes that now include that. The cast members, I mean, they were already pretty firm and good before about cracking down on mask enforcement. They are the firmest I have ever seen cast members be on anything in the parks.
Yeah.
Including they're a lot more strict. It's like you're supposed to be stopped and socially distanced when you drink. They enforce that now, because if you're stopped in an area that's too busy, they will ask you to put your mask back on and move to someplace else to drink your drink or eat your food. They catch you even trying to take a picture with your mask down. They will be right on top of you about it. I've noticed that in the last few weeks, the enforcement has gone up dramatically, and I gotta imagine a lot of that has to do with them trying to get Disneyland open.
Yeah, the whole thing out in California has been really interesting to kind of sit back and watch. And I occasionally forget that, for some odd reason, maybe because I'm a parent of 3 and I've got a crazy life, that the parks aren't even open over there yet. But then I'll snap back into reality and,
it's different. It's different living in a state where the government actually did stuff, whereas ours, where it's just every locality for itself. And, luckily here we have in Orange County / Osceola, at least we have good government people who have the mask. Our mayor here in Orange County has stated repeatedly the mask mandate is not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's
even Ryan, who was there at Disney these past couple of days, he said mask enforcement at Disney was outstanding this last week. So
yeah, I mean,
what's going on
I
over
was
at your West Coast park there, Ryan.
I mean, I look at it this way, though, too, is, obviously, if you're going to say, oh, like, we're requiring you to wear masks, like, you can't expect, like, somebody to be like, hey, don't keep it back on. Like, they're going to have people walking around telling you. But then I look at it this way, too, like, yes, they should obviously be very strict with it, because then if people stop wearing the mask and more people get sick and more, shutdowns happen again in the state, then the park shut down again, and then no one has a job. Yep. So, I know of some people at some nondescript theme parks that were basically told that, they're not the mask police. So I'm kind of glad if anyone's going to be the mask police, it's going to be Disney, because I feel like a lot of people feel like they'll probably get away with murder there. And it's nice to see, at least that they are trying to like prevent it and stop it.
And you two have been to Universal more the past couple of weeks. I know there's been some post on social media that they haven't been doing as good of a job as they used to. Because at first they were doing a lot of us felt they were doing a better job than Disney was on the mask enforcement. Because, Disney's had an issue, especially in the last 10, 15 years, of they haven't been the greatest sometimes with enforcing stuff in the parks, where Universal's always been known for cracking down hard on people breaking.
I think the biggest difference with this is having reservations. When you have, you have to make a reservation. You are agreeing to these rules of blah, blah, blah. You get an email before you ever go into the park stating these are our rules. This is what you have to follow. When you keep constantly hearing announcements, like you kind of hear announcements, like when you're in like maybe a line for something at Universal, but there is not, like, at least to my knowledge, like when I've been there, there's not a park wide. You'll hear it like in a line for an attraction maybe, but not something where it's like Joe Schmo's walking down the street and they want to like take a picture in the Simpsons area. They're not hearing it. And then I've seen, unfortunately, team members walk by with people either having their mask down or taking pictures without the mask on. And not enforcing it, and just kind of going through the Horror Nights houses that they have open lately. That's kind of been a little bit of a disaster. So I definitely, if you're going to ask my like public opinion of it, I definitely think, Disney is doing a better job now. I haven't been to like SeaWorld and Busch Gardens or anything to know how they're doing it. But I definitely would probably pick a Disney day over a Universal day at this point.
I mean, I will definitely say when we were at Busch Gardens for Halloween, and also considering it being at night in the dark, the mask wearing was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And we did see definitely saw a few times where what do they call them, ambassadors or whatever at Busch Gardens actually stopped people and told them to put their mask. It was mostly people not putting their mask over their nose. I saw it firsthand because I was on a VIP tour last Friday at Hollywood Studios, and our guide, man, he was stopping people. And I mean, he's supposed to be there, walking us around and stuff, but he was still stopping people left and right about drinking, about trying to take a picture with your mask off, so it's and I've seen them sometimes have people stationed in certain intersections. I've noticed sometimes, especially during busier parts of the day, just watching, having people out in the streets a little bit more, watching and making sure that people have their masks on. And like I said, I don't know if it's
Disney carries around like the signs too.
Yeah, they always have someone walking through with the sign too. So it's, we've said this before on the podcast. The mask thing is not going away anytime soon. It's just not. So it's like, and I get tired of these people saying I'm not coming until there's no more masks. Well, I guess you're not coming until 2022. Because the mask
we
thing's
see
not
that all the
going.
time. And when you were live streaming from Hollywood Studios, we had
I saw it.
Is the mask mandate still in effect? I'm like, what do you think?
It's private property.
Yes, it's not good, and it's not going away anytime soon. And especially if you look at the number of infections going up right now, it's really not going away anytime soon. So
I mean, at the end of the day, any of these theme parks, they're a business. That's their number one goal, is to make money. And if people aren't feeling safe, they're not going to go. Or if for any reason they're like, okay, well, no more masks, and then all these cases go up and all these people go, well, I went to Universal this weekend, that's probably why. Then that's just going to kill a business. So at the end of the day, they're going to do what they believe is right, which, thank God, most of these parks are going, hey, you need to wear a mask, you need to distance, you need to sanitize, because if they throw all of that out the window and everything goes back to normal, there's not going to be a business to keep.
Yeah,
because you're not going to have enough people to keep your business afloat.
I mean, we're already seeing, luckily, theme parks in many parts of the country have been open, but the performing arts business is on the verge of
what performing arts business at this point?
it's on the verge of destruction, and that's the last thing any of us want, because people are getting complacent, and it's like, that's not how it's supposed to work. But at least we get to go to the parks. And
I've gotten to the point where with the mask thing, I just avoid it's easy to avoid the people that aren't following the rules.
You just walk away from them.
You walk away from them and you go about your day. So, that's kind of where I've gotten to. You're going to have the people that are wearing it on their chin as a chin guard. I just avoid them. The only issue we ever have now is dealing with certain families in line who don't. I think that's more of an issue. Kids.
Me and Barry yesterday.
Yesterday.
Why do we have children now?
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
No, just not paying attention to where the damn sticker is on the floor.
Oh, okay, so you are
letting their child wander up into our area, and it's like, no.
It was both rides that Barry and I went on yesterday. We literally turned around. We're like, that is a small child that's attached to my leg. Okay.
Okay, yeah, but that's a child. When a grown adult.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, you have problems with grown adults doing it too. So
come on. I have to give this. I don't know how many times I have to give the side eye to people when I turn around. And I can feel
if there are
on
not
my neck.
lines or stickers on the ground,
yeah,
or circles or whatever have you, whatever thing to show you that you have to stand somewhere. If it's not there, people go, okay, let me stand right up against you. And then immediately, if you move forward and then stickers magically appear, they're like, a line. And you're like, how is this hard for you?
Well, like I said on Twitter, it's mind boggling. And even when there's not stickers there, you can roughly count 6 feet in your head.
You can try at
least. Give me space. I've had people waiting in line for when I'm at security at Universal. I can feel them breathing on my neck. I'm like,
they don't stop that though.
Lady.
That's my one big problem with Universal lately, is that they just keep kind of bringing everybody into that security line.
Yeah.
And they don't bother to be like, hey, you guys please move back. And they just have team members staring. And it's like, please keep me safe.
But
like, obviously I can't count on like a whole theme park to keep me safe. I'm making that choice for myself. But if we are going to implement safety things, like I need you to help me with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the social distancing thing is a bigger issue for me than the mask thing, to be honest.
Yeah. Just wear your mask, social distance, and we'll get through this. And hopefully some other things will change.
Hopefully.
And we'll get through this.
Because I don't want to talk
not,
about
we're
coronavirus.
doomed.
I can't wait for the day that we record a podcast and I don't have to say the word coronavirus.
And we're all in the same room.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, children, we got to get on out of here. We've been blabbering on for a while. Let's
just wear a mask, please.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Stop.
We are at ThrillGeek on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/ThrillGeek. Please like and follow our Facebook page, YouTube.com/ThrillGeek. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can catch a video of Emily getting the crap scared out of her at Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. We've got some Thrill Geek lives of Clint over at Universal, myself over at Hollywood Studios. You can check out Clint and I's opening night experience at Busch Gardens Hallow Scream. All that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ThrillGeek, ThrillGeek.com for the latest in theme park and pop culture news. And of course, you are listening to, and some of you are watching, the Thrill Geek Podcast. Where if you can get a podcast, you can get the Thrill Geek Podcast.
Yeah, thanks again to everybody for tuning into our live streams, whether it's Barry at Hollywood Studios or Epcot or one of the Disney parks, even at Universal. Me at Universal, I've been trying to do a weekly one at Universal because of Velocicoaster being, something new's been happening every week. So I've been trying to go out there, cover that for you guys. And, look for those on our Facebook page. If you don't follow us on Facebook, please be sure to. And check out our live streams, usually on Friday. That's when I've been going. And with Barry, it's random.
And maybe one day I'll have a gimbal.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Who knows?
Maybe one
Probably
day.
not.
You can always borrow one of ours.
Well, that'd be nice. That offer has never been put on the table before, but I'll take it.
Well, I'm putting it on for Barry. So anyways, thanks, guys, for listening. And we'll see you guys probably in a couple more weeks. Because like I said, we're going to keep this thing bi-weekly. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay safe. See you in the park.
Wear a mask.
Please wear a mask. We did it.
All right, unmuted. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out in the chat. We appreciate you as always. Thank you. Ryan, John. Who else? Michael, as usual. Irene. Daniel. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Celeste, everybody. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We love you guys. We really do. This is why I do the live stream. It's because of people like you.
Thank God I don't have to talk to Clint and Barry the whole time.
Rude.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have to do. Hopefully we'll have at least one or two more guests on before the end of the year.
Maybe. I was
just life is a little crazy right now.
Yeah, I agree. I was trying to think of somebody that we haven't had on out in California that could maybe give a little, their take on this whole California thing, not, the parks and everything, because, they probably are tuned into it more than we are. Because we're professionals here at Thrill Geek.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have someone else on.
Maybe
are we?
We are professionals. Like another, I don't know. I'll have to see if I can figure out somebody out in Cali to have on that we haven't had on, somebody new or something. So we'll see. But anyways, we'll see.
Yeah, and we might try to have, like Chris said, we were discussing before. Yeah, we might try to have Chris from TDR Explorer again on, so he can talk Beauty and the Beast, all the Tokyo Disney stuff, and of course the Mario Cafe. So
Yeah, we'll see if
We
can
will
get him
definitely
on.
have him on after Super Nintendo World Opens. So,
Of course.
since spring will be the
Needed.
earliest any of us maybe ever be able to go to Japan. Well, we'll see if that happens.
So Barry,
Yes.
not the
What?
man with the children,
Yes.
and not the person with the limited bank account.
Yes.
No, I want to get to Japan.
Yeah.
I was on Google Maps the other night.
I would just be happy to be able to go
over.
to Disneyland at this point. So,
John, no, I have not. Theme Park Duo. I think I know who they are. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, there's a few bloggers that I know would be cool with coming on the show. I would just have to reach out with them. I would like to get a. Are they called Californians? Californians' opinion on
the Californians.
The Californian dude. Somebody out there in Cali, their take on this whole, coronavirus thing and the theme park's not reopening yet. Just so we could get another perspective on it, so to speak. So, we'll see. I'll reach out to a few people and see if I can get somebody on. Even if it's, I mean, I could do a podcast, even if it was just like a live stream or something, just to chat with them. Because I've been wanting to do more live streams. Whether it's, aside from the parks and the podcasts, just hop in here. I can hop on and do a live stream with somebody on what have you, Facebook, YouTube, that sort of thing. So, Dan, Justin's scared. Who is that? I don't know who that is.
But
I can't keep up with all the YouTube vloggers and bloggers and those darn bloggers.
Yeah. Or we can try to find a female one, because we've tried to have more female guests on instead of
They're tired of me.
a bunch. No,
Emily.
I said they're tired of me.
Because all we need more podcasts with white dudes talking. So
exactly,
coming from a podcast that is white people talking. So
we're gonna turn this podcast into me, Cheryl, Sin, and then a female special guest, and that's it.
Hey, I'd be okay with that, doing that for
you three and Jackie.
Years.
There you go. And you three and Super Enthused. There you go.
My favorite
that
thing
would
Jackie
be
has
interesting.
ever said to me is, "You know me, I can have fun in a broom closet," and it's the most Jackie thing I've ever heard in my life. I love her.
Yeah, no. If you guys want to take the keys to the podcast, they're yours. Take it. Go.
They're mine now.
Yeah, good luck finding a schedule for Sin to do it. So
yeah, that's true. Crazy schedule. Gosh. Anyways. Yeah, Dan, I thought he sounded familiar. Maybe, possibly. I'm more familiar with it's harder for me to keep up with the I don't know too many of the big vloggers out in California. So yeah, exactly. Dan said
we know any vlogger or blogger that we meet at a media event, and that's about it. We're like, who?
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes I'm at a media event here in Orlando, and I'm like, who? Yeah,
and it's not us being rude or anything. We're just like,
especially at the Disney one.
There's so many of us.
I'm terrible with names. Like, I have to hear your name 6,000 times before I possibly remember it. Whether you're a blogger, vlogger, or just
I'm the worst.
Yeah, it's hard.
If you ever see me in person without a mask on after all this is done, and I'm just going,
and it's even
that
harder
means
now
I
with
have
masks.
no idea.
Oh God.
I'm like,
with masks, that looks like.
Yeah, like I've had people with masks come up to me. And I'm like,
yeah.
Who are you?
Who are you?
And their voice is like this. It's like, hey, it's blah 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 from blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, okay.
We only stick out if we have our ThrillGeek masks on. So
we do that on purpose.
I'm gonna humble brag for a second. It's been really cool wearing the ThrillGeek mask, which, by the way, thank you, Joe Machado, for those. because obviously people have recognized them, they've recognized us, and it's humbling to see people, whereas I don't know, I would say probably is it's been a couple, at least 2 or 3 years where ThrillGeek has gone from who the hell are you? Whereas now people see it like
I was just on your Facebook page, and I'm like,
I haven't. I don't think I've seen that. Oh no, wait. I did see.
That happened to us in the tribute store.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The guy in the tribute store. No, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's been really humbling and really cool to see people recognize ThrillGeek and go, "Oh, you're with ThrillGeek," instead of, "Who are you with? Who's ThrillGeek?" Like I legitimately can remember, like I said, maybe 2, maybe 3 years ago, people, like asking me, like, "What is ThrillGeek? Who is ThrillGeek?"
And you're like, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Don't ask me. It's just a cool name I came up with, and we do fun things at theme parks. So yeah, that's what ThrillGeek is. But no, it's been really humbling, really cool to see people, actually recognize ThrillGeek and like be excited about it, and like, oh, you're with ThrillGeek, and I'm more excited that they're excited about ThrillGeek than they are meeting me. I don't care if you want to meet me. I mean, I do. Like, I love meeting people, but it's more like a it's pretty humbling and pretty cool to see people actually recognizing ThrillGeek and not questioning it. Like, what the heck is that?
I love how Barry's just packing up. He's like, enough of this.
Barry's
Goodbye.
Like, go to bed. I can tell he turned off his microphone because his audio is crap now.
Yeah.
Dan's head, Barry's hat, Clint's glasses, and Emily's hair signature identifiers.
Well,
I can't go anywhere.
Clint has new glasses now. He had to get his
Daniel, my
Oakleys
white ones, or my clear ones. Yeah, my clear ones finally broke, so I gave them a proper burial in the backyard. My clear Oakleys. It was sad.
At least you guys can like disappear if like Barry doesn't wear a hat or like Clint doesn't have the sunglasses on, and they're like purple hair. I found her, and I'm like, no.
Thanks to the Port of Entry giant fans at Islands of Adventure, I scanned my fingerprint and gave them my annual pass, and I walked in, and they went smash on the floor, and I was like, rest in peace. I think that Daniel, I go through Oakley's like I used to go through Oakley's like water. Those clear ones, though, I had those. I think that was the longest pair of Oakleys I've ever owned. So
I was about to say, you've had those since like we literally met. So.
Yeah, I've had those, and I think since I've met Barry, since I've known Barry. So they got use out of them. So, but yeah, no, I had to bid farewell to the clear Oakleys, and I actually looked to buy the same ones again. But Oakley discontinued them, and they were on eBay for like $250, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Just play My Immortal by Evanescence in the background.
Yeah, exactly. So
make sure it's raining.
Anyways, all right, I'm out of here. I need to go get something to drink. My throat's killing me. Good night, guys. Be safe. Dan, thanks for hanging out.
Good night.
Appreciate you, brother. For those of you, for Barry and Emily, this is Dan. He's my best friend from like high school.
I've met Dan.
Did you? And I think Barry has too. Now that I think about it,
I met Dan.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe at Horror Nights or somewhere. Yeah. So, I've been friends with Daniel for a long time. So we have. Maybe I should have. You know what, Daniel? You come on the podcast. We have some theme park stories we could talk about. Cedar Point. So that would be interesting, actually. Maybe we could do that. So, anyways, I got to get going. I'm thirsty. I'm tired. Good night. Be safe.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys.
I'm trying to turn this off. Goodbye.
I'm just going to sit here and wait for you. Oh, she left.